I fell into this. It was not something that I even knew existed. What about you?
I think everybody falls into credit. Nobody says, "Ooh, goody, I'm going to be a credit manager today." It's like someone says, "Hey, can you make a couple calls?" You're like, "Okay." And then you do it, and then before you know it, you're stuck as that chick that collects money. And then you take over the world. Really good credit managers, and there's a difference. There's collectors, there's that traditional credit manager that people think of as negative, and she says no, and she's grumpy. And then the really successful credit people are part sales. Mm-hmm. And you've got to have a good set of soft skills. You've got to be able to have a bullshit meter where it's really just getting to know that person and how to communicate with them. Here's the big challenge that I see with a lot of credit managers, and it frustrates me, and it has for years. You can ask for money. You can ask for financials. You can tell people, "Hey, dude, you're on hold." Yeah, I know. Bummer. But you won't go to your CFO or your vice president and advocate for yourself or your department. And as a department leader, you should be a shameless opportunist for your team, shameless self-promoter of it, because you're there to advocate for your team and for yourself as well. So if I'm trying to, get things like, credit reports or training or having them go to conferences, I've got to go and show the value of that. I've got to go fight for it. And if I have the courage enough to ask people for money all day long, why can't I go to, my leadership, my SLT team, and say, "Listen, here's what we need, and here's how this is going down," and you have to say it with some authority. You can't go hat in hand.
You talk to a lot of credit managers in the industry. What is some of the big things that you hear going on, and kind of what people are having to deal with?
I think one of the biggest challenges that a lot of people in the industry have right now is attracting youth. Because when you say, "Hey, do you want to join the lumber and construction industry?" they're like, And then when you say you're going to do it in credit, it's like, "Oh, hard pass on that." Some of those phone calls are damn fun. Mm-hmm. It's interesting when someone cusses you out, you're like, "Okay, not your best move, telling the woman what she can go do and how to get there, when I'm the only thing standing between you and your order." Mm-hmm. You understand this is probably not your sharpest moment. I'm going to give you a moment to reflect. You call me when you think this through. Sometimes you get into a department with someone who, whatever decade they came up through the ranks in, is the decade they stopped growing in. You get somebody that's, young and enterprising and comes into the department, they're like, "I have all these great ideas," and they're like, "Listen here, whippersnapper, just ratchet it down. This is how this is going to go." And then, you start just sucking the life out of them, and before you know it, they're going to leave or they give up.
So on that, what would you suggest, or what advice could you give anybody trying to get into credit these days?
Oh my God, please call me. I will let you in. If you're trying to get into credit, that's all you need to do is try. We'll suck you in. Look, we'll find you a job. I get at least 3 to 4 calls a week. Wow. With, "Hey, do you know somebody? They can live anywhere." It's such an employee market, and technology has moved so fast. Having people on your team of various generations and having them interact and understand how things work. I learned so much from everybody that I coach because they're coaching me too. So, I'm like, "Well, tell me what you want to do and how you see this." And I still think this is the best place in the company to be. It's really the power seat. I can make or break your company with my decisions. It might take you months to get that customer in here. But if I'm not a good credit manager, I can lose that customer in less than 30 seconds.
Right. Well, thank you so much for meeting with me today. This was a big blast.
Well, I will try next time not to waste all of our alcohol. Salute.